Your intuition rarely shouts, it actually whispers. And these tiny whispers could be the most important messages that you get. And once these tiny whispers are done with, there could be a really loud whisper, which is essentially the culmination of the whole thing. And it is almost as though your intuition is trying to scream at you and tell you that if you don't take action, something bad is going to happen. And let's say that you don't take action and the bad things happen, such as you getting involved in an accident, for instance, then you realize, oh my God, this is what my intuition had been trying to tell me all along, and I now realize what it was trying to tell me. So essentially, intuition is always trying to get your attention before a big moment happens. In this video, I'm going to share with you the subtle signs that intuition gives you in order for you to be able to capture your attention, or from preventing you from making a mistake or making a bad decision. I'm also going to share a real life story with the names masked, of course, to protect the identity of the people involved. And hopefully you'll be able to relate to the story. And once you get that, you may not ignore some of the signs that your intuition gives you once you finish watching this video. And you may even realize some of the subtle signs it gave you for a long time for some event that has happened in your past. Hello everybody, I am Vaishali Nikhade. I am an engineer turned psychic with over 9,000 readings, and I show you how you can leverage the power of the stars and the power of the spirit, aka intuition, in order to be able to create momentum in your life. Once you learn to decode the subtle messages your intuition is trying to give you, you're not going to walk into any scenario blind. So here's what you're going to learn in this video. Moving forward to make things happen, all avenues lead to a no. Time shows you the true colors of intuition and intuition's ability to prevent you from going down the wrong path. All right, so let's get started. The first one is moving forward to make things happen. And like I mentioned before, I'm just going to kind of lay out the story for you. And we are just going to attach it to each point and see how the story progresses. So there is two characters. One character, let's call her Victoria. And the second character, let's call her Bianca. And then the third character, we call her. So hopefully that's not too many names. All right, so here you have Victoria. Here you have Bianca. And here you have Anna. And Victoria and Bianca are teachers or coaches. Let's call them coaches. So Victoria and Bianca are coaches. And Anna is a student. All right, so Anna is a student and Victoria and Bianca, they are coaches. So hopefully you can remember this, and then you will remember the context of the whole scenario and see how the story is going to develop over time. So Anna comes across Victoria, and she is interested to work with Victoria. However, the price that Victoria quotes to work with her is kind of really high and a little bit out of the range for the amount of cash that Anna has and she is willing to pay to Victoria. So essentially, Anna wants to move forward and she is of this principle that she can make things happen. She decides that she would at least explore some avenues to be able to work with Victoria. So that is moving forward to make things happen. So even though Victoria's price is too high for Anna, she still wants to consider it and move forward. So then we move on to the second point, which is all avenues lead to a no. So she looks at a couple of places where she could borrow the money, say from credit cards, but she doesn't have any luck with it. So then she goes to the bank and she's asking the bank for a small loan, and for whatever the situation is or whatever the circumstances are, the bank essentially says no to the loan. So she explores a few more avenues, and essentially everyone is turning her down for the loan. At this point, Anna is beginning to question, or her intuition is stepping in and kind of warning her of the situation. And she's thinking, is it even worth it working with Victoria, because she's not able to get the funds for it. So she's just kind of wondering about this thing. Her intuition is kind of popping in her head and asking her questions or reconsider that particular decision. In the course of time, we are moving on to the next point, which is time shows you the true colors of intuition. In the course of time, Anna comes across Bianca. And Bianca is essentially coaching or teaching about the same thing that Victoria was coaching about. And Bianca was charging, let's say, maybe 1/10 of what Victoria was charging. So Anna is really excited at this point, and she's like, oh my God, I already have that much money, and essentially I can go and work with Bianca and get the same problem solved that I was looking to solve with Victoria. So she is really happy, and she thinks that her intuition was kind of telling her that do not work with Victoria because, well, she was not able to get the funding for it. But there was a reason why she wasn't able to get the funding for it, because essentially she wasn't supposed to or meant to work with Victoria. So Anna signs up to work with Bianca, and lo and behold, when they have the first class meeting, she finds that Victoria is in the same class. And this makes her jaw drop, because Victoria was pretending to be an expert and she herself is in this class. So you can see how Anna's intuition essentially saved her from losing, let's say, tens of thousands of dollars, and still pointed her to a right solution where she could actually make the payment or afford it, and also get the knowledge that she was supposed to get. So we move on to the next point about the intuition's ability to prevent you from going down the wrong path. So when we started this, I told you that Anna went and explored 3 to 5 avenues to be able to get the funding, and the funding was specifically to pay Victoria. And essentially, intuition was kind of stepping in and preventing any of those things from happening, because technically they weren't supposed to be a match, and Victoria was not that great of an expert as she claimed to be. Later, Anna found that there were other students who had worked with Victoria and they weren't quite happy, and they didn't really get whatever it is that they were supposed to get out of the coaching with Victoria. So essentially what intuition did is it still led Anna to a solution, which was to be able to get that knowledge for that particular subject, but it led her in such a way that it also protected her from financial ruin. Because had she worked with Victoria, she would have technically been ruined, because the knowledge that Victoria had wasn't enough for her to recoup her investment. If your intuition is trying to connect with you and give you signs, and you're unsure if that is your intuition or it is something else, then I have the Cosmic Chronicle, and what it does is it essentially helps you, or helps your intuition by telling it what it is that your intuition needs to look for or watch out for every week, so that essentially you are flexing your intuitive muscles, and at the same time you're kind of solving a puzzle, and you won't get caught in a scenario where you will be in a bad situation. So that is essentially the job of your intuition, to prevent you from getting you into a bad situation or making a bad decision. And if your intuition is not strong enough, then you can take help from the Cosmic Chronicle. I also have another video, Intuition versus Science, which I'm going to link below. And you can also look out for signs. In Anna's scenario, all the signs were kind of leading her to a no, like everyone was rejecting her request for the loan. So how exactly did I end up developing the Cosmic Chronicle? That is the subject of my next video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.